Hello and welcome to the Crypto Jungle. My name is Baloo, and here on the channel I try to keep crypto simple. I try to give you the honest facts that I'm seeing in the charts and try and keep you level-headed so that you can make informed decisions inside of this crazy market of cryptocurrency. If you're tired of all the YouTubers telling you to buy everything, then come here for a unbiased opinion. We just look at the charts. We're a very technical based channel, so if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button and follow me on Twitch if you're following along on Twitch. So I want to make a comparison against the price action that we're seeing currently in the charts right now against a reaccumulation after a decline. So if you're kind of new to the Wyckoff method, you're probably seeing the Wyckoff distribution videos that are floating around all over the place. I am also going to say I'm a little sour about that because I have been a Wyckoff specific channel for this channel's entire existence, and we're getting these people that aren't super well versed in the finer nuances of Wyckoff getting a lot of attention. So we'll talk about the distribution. I mean, it's pretty much confirmed as a distribution. We'll do some PNF, which is point and figure charts, which I don't usually do on stream, but we're going to kind of focus a lot on Bitcoin today. We're not going to talk too much about altcoins because the health of the market is very much so dependent upon the health of Bitcoin. And we're going to introduce a schematic that you probably are unfamiliar with, which is a reaccumulation schematic. We're going to go over reaccumulation after decline. There's nothing that says that that is occurring just yet. I just want to put it on the table so that you can have a well-balanced, informed, decision and outlook at the market overall, so that you can know that these things exist, because you probably didn't even know Wyckoff distribution was a thing until it was shoved in your face all over Twitter and YouTube. So there are other schematics, there are other scenarios, there is upside potential and there is downside potential. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the king of all cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin. Okay, so we are in this kind of, we confirmed this distributional pattern. We've confirmed to the downside. We did some point and figure analysis on it that yielded me a downside result of around $36,000 to $41,000. We're hovering around inside of that area currently. A lot of fear in the market, a lot of FUD in the market, a lot of people showing you every single reason possible for you to not invest in Bitcoin. A lot of people calling bear, and I think it's just a little premature to be going down that path. So this is a schematic that you may not be familiar with. For those who are in my group, we study Wyckoff. It's all we do is study Wyckoff. There's some other, we talk momentum and stuff like that as well, but for the most part, we're studying the Wyckoff method. And this is one of the 4 reaccumulation schematics. This is reaccumulation after decline. So I'll just quickly make this larger here. How this schematic works is basically you start off with a small distribution pattern. Now, you may not agree that this distribution that we're coming out of is small, but as the price progresses, and if we do go to higher price levels, in hindsight, it may be looked at as a small distribution. I liken what we're seeing today very much so with what we saw in the DeFi summer boom. So for those who were around cryptocurrency in 2020, summer of 2020, we had a DeFi boom. And people were making a lot of money on these ridiculous farming projects, these yield projects. And, there was definitely peak euphoria at that time as well. And we just came out of peak euphoria with all of these meme coins and these meme tokens and all these garbage projects that shouldn't be making you money. So when that kind of stuff happens, you do have to kind of be on guard. When we got our first lower low, I started to de-risk, I started to deleverage. And when we confirmed our lower high, that's when the shit hit the fan. But yeah, here we are today. Present day, we have a small distributional pattern that results into a downside move to a local seller's climax, at which there is an opportunity for the price to go through another accumulation zone. Now, this is not confirmed. This will take a long time to confirm. It may take over a month to actually develop the price candles, but I just wanted to kind of put this in front of you so that you know that there's still a chance, there's still a possibility that this could just reverse back to the upside. We can change the trend, go back bull, and carry on our merry way. We do have to look at both potentials. We do have to look at both sides of the coin and understand that there's always a bullish, neutral, and bearish position that you could be taking. But everybody is so bearish right now. Everybody is so scared. You know, my group included, everybody is really, really frightened. And I think the last time I jumped on the stream, I was a little over exuberant and a little too happy with what was going on. But that's only because I've seen this stuff before. I was happy. I was very excited to get Bitcoin and Ethereum at the discounted prices that I purchased them at. But I am becoming a little bit more empathetic with the fact that a lot of people are very frightened with what the future may hold. And they may have become a participant in this ecosystem at higher levels. So I'm going to be sensitive to that fact, and we can kind of explore other options. The important thing for you to realize is, what is your time parameter? You know, what is your goal inside of cryptocurrency? What is your goal inside of investing? Because if you came here to just, you know, if you bought this stuff without understanding what it is, and you just, you know, you buy it because the number goes up, you're here for the wrong reasons and you deserve a spanking. That's just the hard truth of the matter. Like, this is profound technology that you're messing with here, and it has a high price tag because of how because of its potential impact on the world. And if you don't really understand what it is, and you can't make you can't decide what the difference is between cryptocurrency and a stock, you got to go back to the drawing board and really figure out why this stuff is so important, why this stuff is so valuable, and realize too that this shit is going to scare a lot of people. It's going to scare a lot of very powerful, wealthy people. So if you think that this is a drawdown, you know, I'm prepared to hold this into some very uncomfortable territories, knowing that I'm participating in an alternative financial system. We are at a crossroads here. We are at a pivot point in society. We are at, you know, the dawn of a new day, and cryptocurrency is at the forefront of that, and it's not going to go down without a fight. So if you think, you know, one billionaire's tweet is the worst news in the world, and to be perfectly honest with you, you should not be here. You really shouldn't, and you should go and participate with the other system, because there's plenty of opportunity inside of the equities market. There's plenty of opportunity inside of Forex. There's plenty of opportunity to make money in the traditional system, and I'm just telling you, this shit is not to be messed with if you don't understand what is going on here. Go play with the old rules, because this is a new set of rules. So yeah, back to this reaccumulation after decline. What we're looking for on the accumulation side of this reaccumulation after decline is we need a trading range to develop. So best case scenario where we're at right now is we are at the point at which we're at phase A. So in Wyckoff, there's several phases. Phase A sets the width of the range. Phase B observes the volatility within the range. Phase C gives you a confirmation of direction, and phase D is the conclusion of that direction, either up or down. So where are we right now? Phase A. Phase A is a no trade scenario. If you didn't buy the dip, if you didn't buy the madness, there's no reason to be a participant at this time, in my opinion. You can wait for confirmation on this. So a couple of key characteristics of reaccumulation after decline. It is the weakest amongst the reaccumulation types. So this is the one that takes the longest to recover. This is the one that comes with the most uncertainty. This is the one that will kind of really mess with your head and is not a comfortable trading scenario to participate in. So I'm sure that doesn't really come as a surprise to a lot of people. You're seeing the fear and the doubt that you're experiencing in your own emotions, and and that is correlated with what you're seeing with other participants in the market. But yeah, this is a tough reaccumulation if it does indeed play out like that. You can have different variations of the trading range. There are 3 other structures. We're not going to go over those today because those are different types of reaccumulations. But here's where we're at. Here's where we're at today. I'm going to go down to the smaller time frame. I'm going to go down to the 4-hour. And we're going to see how the trading range is beginning to develop. So here we are. Actually, let's just go down to the 1-hour. Bought the dip. Well done. You know, I think depending on your time parameter inside of this market, the dips, you know, guys, we just got Bitcoin half off. In my opinion, I'm not here for the short-term bullshit. I'm not here for the short-term swings. I'm here to make money. I have a portfolio that I adjust at key points in the market. I made those adjustments when I saw us breaking down at 57K. But right now, I'm not making adjustments. I don't make adjustments into weakness. I make adjustments into strength. And that can be hard, and I'm sorry, and I'm empathetic. But there are lessons to be learned here, okay? Sometimes you earn, and sometimes you learn. It's just, you know, you have to make your own decisions on how you want to proceed here. But I think that, you know, for me, I'm very happy that I was able to buy. That's me. I'm in a very different scenario. I didn't buy my first Bitcoin at 6. So here, but here we are. We're taking a look at this trading range that is developing. And we have our seller's climax right here. If this will catch up, there we go. Seller's climax, our automatic rally. Now this automatic rally may not be completed. I think that this range might be a little soft, to be honest. It's about a $4,000 range. And then we came down for our secondary test. So all of these different points in the market aren't telling us to do anything. It's just allowing the trading range to develop. If these 3 points confirm, we have our trading range, and our trading range is this range right here. And we're going to watch how the price candles behave in and out of that trading range as the price develops. Now, we do need to get some closes. We need to get a daily close. We need to show support. We need to rally off of this level to confirm it as a secondary test. But I think we're in a pretty good position. You know, I was saying yesterday to my community, hey guys, you know, the market's looking like there's a bit of a recovery. We're technically in an automatic rally. What comes next? What comes next is the secondary test. So we're back down testing this area. Nice amount of volume to defend that line. I'm kind of liking that. Usually you don't want to see too much supply come in. Because it's showing that there's, you know, a lot of people willing to sell as we get close to those lows. It's really dicey out there, and I'm not going to push you into any new positions. I'm more than happy to share what I am doing, and what I did was place some bids that were filled, and that's basically where I am right now. A lot of people calling for lower targets, but yeah. What is your target if we take out the low? If we take out the low, I honestly don't have a target because of the fact that we didn't redistribute. So the next logical point would be, let's just zoom out here. Honestly, if we take it out, I think we'll probably retest down here at around 29, 28,000. And below that, we're talking around 19.8. But that's, you know, a little ahead of the game, really. Go ahead. No, don't need that. Let me just make this full screen again. But I'm not calling those targets. Those are not my targets right now. I think that that was a nice flush of the market. Everybody is at peak fear. Nobody wants to be a participant in this thing we call cryptocurrency, and nobody wants to be a buyer, you know, and effectively that is an equalization of supply and demand. If there's no buyers and there's no sellers, well, we have an equalization of supply and demand. We can't front run a bearish idea. If you were to front run a bearish idea, you should have done it when we were strong and confirming our lower high. That's just kind of the way it is. But I want to show you something else, and this is kind of allowing me to confirm that we at least have time in the short term, and that is the point and figure charts. This is going to be a very Bitcoin heavy stream. Usually I do a lot of analysis based on coin requests that you guys would like to see. I did get a coin request for Solana, so we'll go ahead and take a look at that. But honestly, my focus here is Bitcoin, because everybody's focus is on Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin is the canary in the coal mine. If it's not doing good, the market's not doing good. So we need to kind of really focus hard on what Bitcoin is doing. So I'm going to transition over to a point and figure chart. Hopefully my stream doesn't crash trying to do this. Okay. Is there too much volume for a secondary test? I mean, there's a lot of people willing to sell. You know, typically you want to see less of a secondary test, but people are overreacting. I mean, the volume is going to be kind of a hard read right now. I'm thinking that the sellers overall, the macro sellers, are pretty much exhausted. Here's what happened. We had a liquidation event. People went long into a lower high. They went long into a lower high, and then we had a liquidation event. That caused a dip. The dip was about a 30% dip. Everybody is told, hey, buy the dip, buy the dip. So people went in and they bought that dip on leverage. And they bought the dip on leverage. And then what happened? We had another liquidation event. So, you know, we wanted the institutions to come. We wanted, you know, the futures market said they were going to tame Bitcoin. There's nothing. Like, we're not taming Bitcoin. Bitcoin is getting crazier, and it's because of the institutions, and it's because of the futures and the derivatives. You know, if you're Binance futures contracts, 60% of the participants on Binance use 20x or higher. It's your fault. If you're doing this, if you're using those amounts of leverage, it's your fault, and you kind of deserve this because your time parameters are too short, and you're trying to make too much money too quickly. You know, Warren Buffett says, you know, or nobody wants to get rich slowly. Now, when you leverage yourself and expose liquidations, you deserve to be liquidated. Yeah, the sentiment is great for me currently. I'm going to try again and get over. Let me just quickly go. It's a little glitchy trying to get the point and figure chart. Let me go to Cardano and do it. It doesn't like the big numbers. There we go. So now I can probably change it. So for those who don't know, point and figure, it's one of the original methods of charting. And it just uses X's and O's on a piece of grid paper, basically. And here we are. This is the Bitcoin point and figure chart. I'm going to stretch this out a little bit. This is on Binance. And we're going to do some math together. This is why I never do point and figure charts on stream, because, you know, it's pretty boring to have to do all this stuff. But I mean, you guys got time. We're kind of sitting on our hands at the moment, so we can kind of determine we can spend some time to learn something new together. This is one of the biggest things that people miss with the Wyckoff method. There's 3 laws of Wyckoff. There's the method of effort versus result, cause and effect, and oh, I'm drawing a blank because I'm on stream. Supply and demand. Supply and demand, effort versus result, and cause and effect. So the cause is the accumulation range or the distribution range, and then the effect of that is either the markup or the markdown. So we're going to go through what's called a count. We're going to do a distribution count on this point and figure chart to show you how to get these targets. Very boring, but that's what we're going to do today, because I'm not going to cover a bunch of shitcoins today. So you start off with the entry into the distribution, and you finish on the exit of the distribution. Okay, let's actually make this white. And you're going to measure the distance between the entry and the exit. And we're going to measure it. So let's go ahead and measure how many bars that is. Oh, it doesn't want to pick it up. Let's just use the ruler. And we have 15 bars wide. And so now we get to punch in the calculations. So 15 bars times the box size. We're using a box size of 500. So every one of these X's represents a price movement of $500 times the box reversal, meaning that this does not transition into a downtrend, or we don't start drawing O's until there's a $1,500 price difference. So it takes 3 times the box size to change direction. That's all that means. So it's 15 times 500 times 3, which gives us a count of $22,500. $22,500. That is our count for the distribution. And then we take 2 more measurements. This is why I don't do this on stream. So we're going to go from the all-time high. We're going to drag that over. And we're also going to go from the LPSY. We're going to drag that over. Okay, so the distance from the LPSY has a high of, if we take a look at the open, high, low, close on the LPSY, we had a high of 58,500. So we're going to type that into our calculator, 58,500 minus our accumulation box size, which is 22,500. And that gives us a count of $36,000. Okay, so we'll remember 36, and then we'll go to the all-time high and we'll do the same thing. So the all-time high here on the box size was $63,500 minus the box count, 22,500. And that gives us 41,000. So that's our target. That's our target range. So let's just go ahead and draw that in here. I'm going to go ahead and make that a brighter color. I'm going to go into the coordinates, and I'm going to make our box size 41,000 and 36,000. So the target range for this distribution is anywhere between 41,000 and 36,000. And look at where we are ping-ponging inside of. This is exactly where we are currently. This is the range. It's like these last 2 candles have been range bound in the exact PNF target for this range. So it does have some validity. There are people that use it. It's an interesting technique. It's part of the Wyckoff method. It is the method at which we use to measure cause and effect. So the cause being the distribution, the effect being the markdown. We're in the range at which we need to stop, look, and listen. That's all it is. Okay, so this is the area where we need to pay attention and watch how the next range develops. I believe there will be a range that will develop. So we don't need to panic. We don't need to, become really uncomfortable with what we're seeing, because there's an opportunity for us to slow down and reassess. I mean, the targets have been hit. So in theory, in the Wyckoff method, we're either going to see a reaccumulation, which is what I discussed at the beginning of the stream, or we are going to see a redistribution, which will show us that there's lower targets. When the distribution, if a redistribution kind of takes place, we will be able to do a count on the redistribution, and that count will give us the downside targets. If we get the reaccumulation, we'll be able to do a count on the reaccumulation, and it'll give us the upside targets. Long story short, long-winded answer. I think for right now, we're okay to just chill and wait and watch and allow the price candles to develop, because it's going to take time. There's no rush. We need to just kind of understand that we're at peak fear. Everybody is panicked. We have not seen a 50% retracement in Bitcoin in a long time, since the early days. So people are saying the models are broken. We're obviously in a bear market. This is how kind of, this is the signal that it's all over. And I think that that kind of sentiment is a little premature. Yes, we were in a downtrend. I kind of did warn a lot of people. So if you are new to this channel, if you're just tuning in, I was kind of telling you, hey, we're in a technical downtrend. We need to prepare for lower levels. I called 38.8. I placed bids at 38.8. Those bids were filled. I didn't account for market-wide panic that wicked us down to 30K, but you can never really predict that. I just had those targets in place and those bids are filled, and I'm happy to have them filled. All right, so let's catch up a little bit with the chat here, and then I'm going to do a quick analysis on Ethereum, and then as requested in my last video, I'm going to take a look at Solana as well. I've seen more people fail because of liquor and leverage. Leverage being borrowed money. You don't need leverage in the world much. If you're smart, you're going to make a lot of money without borrowing. Yes, exactly. Warren Buffett. Again, another classic Buffett quote. Patience is the name of the game. If you want to have Bitcoin and always own it, you should hold it spot markets. If your entire trading portfolio is leveraged, stop. Undo that. Never do that again. Never do that again. Because what happens is you are now in a position of being wiped out. And if you're in a position of being wiped out, you're gone. You're done. You need to, go and get some more money together to put back into the market so you can be a participant. You can't forget about the investment side. You will never have your crypto taken from you as a spot buyer. You only ever risk it when you are using leverage. And leverage is a beast, man. Leverage is a beast. Do you know how much leverage I have on my account currently? I'm an experienced trader. I use leverage. I use margin on my FTX account. Links down below, by the way, so you can sign up, and if you join the group under our links, you'll get the free indicator. But if you're over leveraged, you're just gonna get liquidated. My current leverage on FTX is 0.3x. 0.3x. So, it's you have to really understand that that's not the way to go. I'm losing my sound here. Did my earbuds not working? Let's go to the wired connection, shall we? It's interesting. Uno momento, having technical difficulties. Why no working? All right, forget it. I'll just go without. Yeah, so I'm at 0.3x leverage. I have access to margin. I'm able to leverage into positions, and I can't be liquidated. So there is a balance. You can have fun. You can play with money that technically isn't yours, and you can enjoy the gains of profitable trading setups and also not be liquidated. The only reason you would get liquidated on that low of margin is if you were a short seller in a bull market. But I'm not. I'm a long buyer in a bull market with 0.3x leverage. So check out FTX. It's a great, responsible exchange. Also, by the way, they didn't crash when the market crashed. They were one of the few exchanges where you were actually able to place order and get your bids in. Where was I? Oh, I was looking at the chat. Not boring. Okay, I'm glad you guys like me doing math on freaking X's and O's. Channel's way less stressful than spending time on Twitter. Thank you. Yes, I'm doing good. Great taunt. More math, please. Okay. Lower low and lower high on the weekly will confirm a bear run. Absolutely. I am not in disagreement with that at all. It's just we're on a swing low right now. This is the swing low. So the swing low has to end at some point, and then we have to have our swing high. So if we get a swing high that's a lower high, and then we come down for a lower low, it's definitive. It's unarguable that we're in a long-term bear trend. But people are front-running that idea before it's presented itself. We're not there yet. It's not here. It's just an idea. You always have to wait for confirmations. Do what the market is telling you to do. You can't, people fall into the trap. It really bothers me, like certain channels, like Crypto and Carl with the Moon, spouting all their bullshit, saying like, oh yes, it did this exactly as I predicted. You can't predict the markets. It's impossible. These candles are monkeys buying and selling bananas. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just a real life interpretation of what is happening now. And you're able to position yourself according to the information as it comes in. You can't predict what the buyers are going to do. You can't predict what the sellers are going to do. TA is a tool. It's a tool to allow you to position. Everybody falls into this trap when you join. It's like, hey, if I learn how to read a chart, I know how to make money. And it's just not true. It's not true. There's a lot of psychology, and it's planning and strategy, and it's a lot of the things that I teach in my group. So if you're interested in learning how to objectively look at this market and kind of position yourself alongside the trend of the market, then join VIP. We've got a fantastic community full of really good traders that are trying to trade this market in the least friction way possible. It's just, yeah. Please allow me in VIP today. Gravy helped me sign up Wednesday before VIP. Looking forward to participating. Okay, I think I sent you the link, Kahuna. You have to just, I gave you the free month. You just have to click that link and register. You got to go to the checkout. Yeah, we're excited to welcome you in. I think the ball's in your court at this point. I've sent you the links. So yeah, quick point and figure. Enjoyed that. Good. Preach. Regarding my question above, with the stock to flow model, I mainly just mean, does it hold any weight for your macro outlook? I think so. The problem with on-chain analytics and these on-chain metrics is I feel that they are on the demand side. They're on the fundamental side. The problem with the markets is the supply. The supply is where the fast movements are going to happen. The supply is where the over exuberance comes from, and the supply is where the discounts and the over bearishness comes from. Demand is almost the fair market value of the asset. It's the panic and the greed that will manipulate the price into overbought and oversold. And on-chain metrics can't measure that, in my opinion. I think it's a really good way for you to kind of just take a break from the violence of the charts and look at, just remind yourself of why you're here and understanding the fundamentals. Listen, what is the current climate right now in the world of finance? We are printing the dollar into infinity. Inflation is starting to show. Look at the prices of lumber slowly climbing up and up. Not even slowly, lumber is going up. What is happening with the workers going back to work? They don't want to go back to work because their stimulus checks are too good. They would rather just collect a check. So what are the minimum wage places doing? They're raising the rates, they're raising the wages, they're offering 401ks, they're offering benefits, they're giving minimum wage workers benefits and good paid jobs. Now, what is that going to do? That's also going to contribute to inflation because they're going to have to raise the price of the chicken nuggets at McDonald's. They're going to have to raise the price on your favorite ramen shop. All of the prices are going to go up. So for you to dump out of this market in the safest, most secure, hardest asset that the human race has ever seen in its entire lifetime, to me, is fucking ludicrous. It's absolute nonsense. Your time parameters are too short. Your time parameters are too short. That's me. That's my sentiment. Will I endure a drawdown? Yes, I will. I will gladly endure a drawdown. Because I see the big picture. I understand where we are. And I can empathize with those that bought at 60K. I understand. Believe me, believe me. I've been through these cycles. I understand the psychology of watching your investments go to seemingly nothing and then capitulating at the bottom. I think anybody who's been in this market long enough kind of understands that. And I empathize with that. But it's just part of the cycle, and you have to stick with it. You have to go back to your roots, understand the fundamentals, understand that this is the inflation hedge, and inflation is coming, and it's going to come hard, in my opinion. I think we're going to see some pretty crazy shit in terms of inflation. We're going to see housing inflation. We're going to see gas inflation. We're going to see grocery inflation. We're going to see worker inflation. We're going to see lumber inflation, asset. And you know what else we're going to see in inflation? Asset inflation. If you're not holding assets, what the hell are you doing? You have to hold assets. Build a portfolio. Think like a fund manager. Think like a rich person. I don't buy everything at one point and sell everything at the other. I invest in this market. I make smart trades, and I, take profits when I feel it's necessary, and I hold my assets, and I don't care what the price of the asset is because I know that it's a hard asset. And that's it. It's really that simple. You can't look at the prices sometimes because one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. What if I have an inflation fetish? Yeah, I mean, we should. You're in the right. If you're buying Bitcoin, you should have an inflation fetish. I mean, it's gonna kind of suck though, because you're gonna go to the gas station. It might cost $200 to fill a tank. But yeah, getting all animated today. All right, I promised some more charts. Let's take a look at what's going on with Ethereum. Similar thing. We're looking at that reaccumulation after decline. We can actually move this down. If we're looking for a reaccumulation after decline, I think we're in this kind of general area. I think alts are in a much worse place than Bitcoin currently, and that shouldn't really come as a surprise. The alts, they were overextended when compared to Bitcoin. And I think that they're going to be on pause for a longer amount of time. Bitcoin's going to lead. Bitcoin's going to be the leader, and the alts are going to follow. So if we're looking at Ethereum here, and we're thinking this is a reaccumulation after decline, same spot. It almost looks picture perfect to what Bitcoin is doing. We're in phase A. We need to confirm phase A. It looks like it wants to confirm phase A. What's next? Phase B. Both phase A and phase B, you do nothing. You're observing the price, you're determining strength, and wondering if it's time to make a decision. So as far as what we're seeing right now, it's really, not a big deal. So yeah. I'm glad you guys like the rant, because I kind of feel like a dick sometimes. But I try to, I'm just trying to be honest, and I'm trying to tell you that I'm trying to address the elephant in the room here. A lot of people showed up for the wrong reasons. And I tried, how many fucking Doge videos did I make saying like, the supply is controlled by too many whales. There's no fundamentals in it, And the other thing too is I'm not saying that it can't go to a higher price if the market continues. I'm just saying that it's a fucking useless project. And when people are making money on things that don't make this world a better place, that's not sustainable. It's a Ponzi scheme. At its core, there's no, guy behind the curtain, but at its core, if you buy something because your intent is to sell it to somebody else for a higher price, that is, in my opinion, by definition, a Ponzi scheme. So Doge, I don't like it. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, Ethereum, reaccumulation after decline. I really don't want to spend too much time on the altcoins right now. If we go ahead and take a look at Solana, this is just by request. Solana looks like shit, really. I think Solana got a little overhyped. The not a lot of people are using the blockchain. There's not a lot being built. They're building, don't get me wrong. I just don't think the people are using what's being built. If you compare what's going on here, like if you compare Oxy, which is on the Solana ecosystem, compared to Aave, it's a no-brainer. Aave is winning. As far as dApps, decentralized applications being used for the purposes of what they've been designed for, it's Ethereum. You can disagree with me. I don't care. It's Ethereum. As far as like Aave is a savings account. If you have DAI, if you have USDT, if you have USDC, and you've made a lot of money and you just want to put it into a high interest savings account, you put it in Compound or you put it in Aave. They're not doing that on Oxy. They're not doing that on whatever Cardano thinks they're going to be releasing. They're using Ethereum and they're paying the fees. You know, it's the most trusted network. It's the most utilized network. It gives you the highest yield. It matches the most borrowers with the most lenders. You know, if you don't know enough about DeFi, get in there and we can help you. Join the group. We'll help you understand and navigate, because we're replacing everything that exists in TradFi with DeFi, and these bank accounts are one of it. Aave is a high interest savings account. Okay, so that's Solana. Looks like shit. I think we could easily come back down to reality here. So I'm not too worried. I'm not too upset that I kind of missed the wick down. I think we're probably going to come back down to 30 bucks. I'll look to take a position at 30 bucks, but yeah. How do you rewind Twitch? I think you can just click the bottom. You might have to catch the replay, but I don't know. I'm not rewinding my own stuff. I think you can just, there's a slider at the bottom. You just rewind. Wouldn't you yield farm in BSC over Sol? Me personally, I don't yield farm, especially in a bull market. I'm not, you know, that was kind of a really lucrative thing to do as we were leaving the bear market. But we already have the projects, in my opinion. Like, we already have the stuff that exists. Like, what am I yield farming? Like, what are you trying to get a yield from? What token are you trying to get? I mean, in my opinion, Binance Smart Chain is a piece of shit fucking ecosystem that just needs to go away and die. It's useless. It's useless. It's centralized. What's the fucking point? Its consensus is through Binance. Fuck Binance Smart Chain. You know, get something decentralized. Ethereum is decentralized. I trust Ethereum. I don't trust Binance Smart Chain. That's where all the shit coins are. That's where everybody has lost all their money, is Binance Smart Chain.
I'm Siri. Pleased to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you, Siri. Woo solves the liquidity issues for institutional investors so they can make huge trades without swinging the price too much. Pulls all the liquidity from exchanges into one pool. So yeah, Woo is a derivatives exchange. So they're offering low slippage, high liquidity derivatives. Derivatives are always going to be high liquidity because you're just matching the short seller up with the long buyer. So it's a very different thing. If you're ever going to buy something on Woo, just know that you're not actually buying the asset. You're buying the derivative. You're buying the contract against that asset. That being said, I think that Woo is very undervalued. Why don't we go ahead and take a look at Woo? I think Woo, you know, a lot of these exchange tokens are crazy overvalued, and Woo, well, they're still building. You know, you're kind of front running the trade when you're looking at Woo. There's a lot that still needs to be done, but yeah, it's in a distribution. It looks like it's kind of taking a shit. It's kind of in a good spot where I would want to kind of be a buyer, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we come back down to this level right here. The altcoin market is crap right now. And if you're trying to make your money in altcoins, I think you're going to be waiting a while. You're far better off looking for opportunities in Bitcoin right now, because Bitcoin's going to lead the charge. Until Bitcoin starts to behave, your altcoins are going to do nothing but lose you money. That doesn't mean I'm selling my altcoins. I'm still long a lot of these projects, but I'm not looking at them either. I don't care what they're valued at right now, because they're not valued very well. They're doing very poorly. So, you know, I would like to see us come back down and test. I think that this is a very realistic point, right around 50 cents. We could have taken profits at $1.50, $1.40, something like that. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, but didn't. This is a long-term hold for me. I wouldn't be surprised to see this up at 50 bucks. Now, I don't do price predictions. I think price predictions are just a joke. But I would not be surprised to see Woo catch some momentum as a competitor to something like Robinhood, where there's low fees, instant liquidity, instant settlement. The only caveat to that is it is a derivative. So, you know, they're derivatives. There will be leverage. There will be some other things to go along with that. But yeah, you know, it's going to be a really interesting product for quant traders, arbitrage traders. There's going to be some opportunities to kind of, you know, get in and out of these, like, these pairs. You can kind of, you know, if DAI is sold at a premium over Tether, they'll just like swap into ETH and then swap into DAI. There's a lot of weird stuff. If you have low slippage, you can do some pretty interesting stuff when you're dealing with high volume balances in the hundreds of millions of dollars. You know, the people behind this project, they're consistently the top traders on FTX. By volume, they're the top traders by volume. They're quant traders. They're looking for arbitrage and those types of opportunities to kind of exploit the market. So they're very much so building this for them, because they want to have the perfect quant trading system where they can just exploit the premiums of the stable coins. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a successful project. Where do I see BTC settling? In the current environment, I see it settling here. This is just based off of the point and figure chart that we did at the beginning of the stream. We're in the zone. We're in the area of confluence as far as where I saw us kind of ending up. And beyond that point, I don't know what's going to happen next. You know, we're in phase A. It's all about data collection at this point. We need to let these candles, we need to let these price candles print. Once they print, we'll have a better idea. And we don't have a good idea right now. So it's just time. It's all about sitting and waiting right now. There's no trades. There's no trades. I caught a falling knife and that was the last thing I did. I mean, we can take a look at hard, but I'm going to call it a piece of shit. Because alts are shit right now. Let's look at hard. Let's look at this garbage fucking project. I don't know if it's garbage. I think it's just garbage right now. Yeah, distribution. Falling down. Right back down to where it came from. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes all the way back down. 40 cents. You know, we're in a downtrend. We had a double bottom here. We're going to come back for a triple bottom. It'll just slowly land. I don't know. If we can, the only saving grace we might be able to do is the area of the breakout back here. But even then, like, who's trading alts right now? Nobody. The institutions and the wise, savvy investors might get involved with Bitcoin. They might dabble with Bitcoin. But they're not fucking buying this shit. Do you suggest selling altcoins at a major loss or hodl? Your strategy is entirely up to you. You know, I can't tell you what to do with your money. I really can't. And it's kind of unfair to me to even ask those questions because we're all in a different place. We all have different bankrolls. We all have different, you know, we all have different thresholds of pain that we can handle. And it was kind of the greed that got you into the point of capitulation and thoughts of capitulation in the first place. So, you know, we're in a swing low. I don't know if this is the bottom of the low. I don't know if we're going to reverse from here. So asking me what I think you should do with your portfolio is just not something I'm willing to talk about with anybody, paying customer or otherwise. It's just, you know, you're not gonna, yeah. If you believe in the fundamentals of the project, I think if you think the project will go back up in value beyond where you bought it, then it should really be that simple, and you just got to change your time parameters. You should have been thinking about hedging at higher levels when the market was turning. And if you were subscribed here, I was telling you the market was turning. I'm sorry. Oh, Siri. Baloo, you have a dirty mouth. I'm sorry for all the swearing, guys. YouTube doesn't like it when I swear. Twitch is kind of okay. I try not to swear, but, you know, I also don't try that hard to stop. I heard in January from Ivan on Tech, the altcoin cycle would be right before Bitcoin cycle. Do you believe in the cycles like this? I think if there's common knowledge on a cycle, there can be people trading against it. You know, like, what if this is the top? What if this is a bear market? That's going to be the very first time that we've had a bear market where Bitcoin is undervalued against the stock to flow. It's going to be the very first time that we've had a bear market that initiated without a blow off top. It's going to be the very first time that we've had a bear market that initiated with just a 50% drawdown. I don't think that this is a top personally, but that doesn't have a lot of support behind it. Honestly, there's not much other than just me comparing the past. And when you compare the past, eventually it will change. And then all of the data that you used in the past becomes invalid. So holding true to conviction on the past can kind of work against you sometimes. And, you know, full transparency, I'm making comparisons to the past. So if this does turn bear, I'm going to be ready. But I'm also waiting for a recovery rally because we need that lower high. I don't know about the January thing. I don't like to place dates. I like to look at events, time frames, stuff like that. I really just don't think. Yeah. Okay, replying question. What are the key insights that would define Bitcoin's current range as reaccumulation or distribution? There isn't one. We're in phase A. Phase A sets the range. Phase B will give you information on whether it is an accumulation or a distribution. Those candles have not printed. We cannot look into the future. So we don't have that information. It doesn't exist yet. We need to wait and see how phase B develops. What do I think about capital rotation? There's a scheme in which you agree, Bitcoin, ETH, big caps, mid caps, small caps, typically, yeah. And it usually precedes, or it comes after one of these shakeout events. You know, when you get to peak euphoria, like nobody was buying Bitcoin, nobody was buying Bitcoin. They were buying Shiba Inu and you know, this coin and pussy coin and, you know, cummies and like the stupidest shit, the dumbest, most retarded things you could ever see were being bought. And that's peak euphoria. So when peak euphoria ends and you get this huge reaction to the downside, everybody goes back to safety. It starts with Tether. You can see the Tether chart. We can go to Tether dominance. They start in Tether and then they move into Bitcoin because Bitcoin's kind of moving. It's like, oh, I think Bitcoin will make a move, but everybody's really hesitant to make high risk moves. Everything was popping. Everything. That's the point. That's the point I'm trying to make, is people were making ridiculous money in stupid, dumb, fundamentally unsound projects. That's called euphoria. Next time you see that, you'll know to take money off the table. I did. Tether dominance, USDT.D. What do I think about Shiba Inu though? Is that a real question? You don't want to hear what I think about Shiba Inu. So this is Tether dominance. You can see that we're very overbought. We're very overbought. There's a lot of people sitting in Tether right now. That is money on the sidelines. It's ready to redeploy. So, you know, it's every time we get up into these levels here, it's usually preceding a rally. We don't need these price candles. Let me hide the price candles. We don't need the price candles, and let me overlay the total market cap. Okay, and let's make notes here. So we were overbought in Tether here. After we were overbought in Tether, what happened? We moved up. Okay. We were overbought in Tether here. Overbought in Tether here. What happened after we were overbought in Tether? We had a small move up. You know, they're not always going to be big moves. Overbought in Tether here. And we got to move up. Very overbought in Tether here. We got to move up. This was the DeFi summer. This was the last crash that kind of looks like the one we're in right now. Overbought in Tether here. We got a large move up. And now we're overbought in Tether here. I don't know. I mean, I can't predict the future. I can just look at the data that's being presented to me right now. Done with registering, waiting your approval. Awesome. Okay. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but DM me, Kahuna. DM me, Kahuna, because I'm going to forget. I could have sworn I sent you the link. Maybe I didn't. DM me. What would you expect in phase B to see in order to conclude its reaccumulation? Well, typically, I'll show you a very typical kind of scenario as to what you would be looking for. So you have a trading range. Okay. Now, if this was a reaccumulation, we will come down, we'll get our test that confirms the range, and then we'll probably spend a lot of time confirming support. That's a typical characteristic of reaccumulation, is we confirm support a lot. And we'll develop this resistance above us, and then we'll break above the resistance and test it, and then start getting above the price candle. We'll get above it. But the point is, we spend a lot of time confirming support. That's very important in a reaccumulation. If it's a redistribution, we're going to spend a lot of time being rejected from resistance. So we'll come down, same thing, test support, automatic rally. We'll come up and we'll get a failure. That failure may result in a sign of weakness. We'll get bought back up. We'll probably go up one more time, get some sort of UTAD, and then we'll get another failure, fail, curl over and down. So it's just more volatile. There's more things. We test the support less, we get rejected from resistance more. So, you know, it's something that we need to allow time to develop so that we can make those types of calls. And this is the Wyckoff method. We define the range and we observe the price action within the range. It's the most profitable trading style I've ever found, and it's all that I teach in my group. There's so much confluence with other methods that fall under this category. If you're a pattern trader, if you're a momentum trader, if you're somebody that just does volume spread analysis, like all of these methods, they come together with Wyckoff, and I love it. I love it. And I'm a little pissed off when I see people that don't really understand it getting really popular on YouTube when I've been doing this for a long time. Am I a little sour? I sound a little sour. Probably a little sour. Is what it is, though. Okay, we got to wrap it up here, guys, because I got to go to the virtual classroom. So for those who are in VIP, for those who are in my Discord, every time after the stream, we go and we talk strategy, we talk about your charts, we talk about your questions, and we cover it in detail, in length, so that you can strategize and you can help, yourself be prepared to make money inside of this market every time after the stream. So go ahead, get into the Discord. We will see you in the virtual classroom. And let's see what we can close it out with here. So Doge isn't going to the moon. The unfortunate reality is I don't have a firm answer on that. I think that Doge is a useless project that's not going to be around in a decade. Not as a form of value. I think it might be around as a collector's item. You can still buy BitConnect tokens. That's kind of a collector's item. But no, I don't think it's going to change the world like these other projects are. So no, I think it might go up in value. You might be thinking it could be at moon territory, but that's dependent on the market continuing and people becoming bullish on Doge again. The price will go up if people are willing to pay more money for it, but it's not something that I'm ever going to buy, not as something serious. Wyckoff is everywhere on the charts, everywhere. Okay. Hey, be nice. Be nice to our fellow VIP people. Okay. Yeah, if you learn Wyckoff, you're going to be so prepared for the bear market. You're going to be so prepared for the bear market because you're going to place bets on all the right horses. All right, that's all the time I have for today, guys. If you enjoyed this content, it's really not my typical stream. Usually I do a lot of coin requests. I try to look at the charts, but honestly, it's in everybody's interest to kind of avoid that stuff for now, because of the fact that this market's shaky. You know, it's Intel time. We're looking at the market kind of as a whole. We're looking at Bitcoin. We're looking at you know, the total market cap. We're looking at where the tether is. Where's the money flowing? I think I've placed my bets on Bitcoin. I think we have a tentative support here. We need more price candles to develop. We need more data to really make a decision. And if you want to keep up to date with what I'm seeing, I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So hit subscribe, hit the like button. Honestly, it's just how the algorithm knows to notify you. And yeah, please trade safe out there. It's a jungle. Peace.